So today, as I had something on my mind, I want to share it as I learn, and just looking at different behaviors and the way we behave as individuals just have me curious about a lot of things, and then I go try to get some scientific facts behind it, any research behind it, and try to. Because, I totally agree with when they say if we continue to do things the same way as we have always done, we get the same results. So evidently, it's not helping when it comes to in this case, I'm talking about jealousy, hate, envy, blaming and shaming people for the color of their skin, blaming and shaming people for the accent with the language or wording that they speak, blaming and shaming people for the body structures that they have, blaming and shaming people for things that they cannot change. I mean, and then I think about, well, you say you believe in God and God made people and this and that, but then, did God make the color of the skin, the way someone talked, just the things that an individual cannot change by the snap of their fingers? Is it, whether it's right or not, we just blame them and shame them, and it exacerbates our envy, our hate, our jealousy, and our comparison when we compare ourselves to others. And so, yes, this has been going on for many, many years. And yes, it's a part of human nature, human behavior. But I just wanted to share as I learn to try to get a little bit more grips on it. Just thinking about it and try to think about it in a different way. I always have to think about myself first before I can, complain or not like something that somebody else does. It's like, look at yourself. I have to look at myself and say, is there any envy? Is there any hate? Is there any jealousy? Is there any comparison? Or why don't I like when people blame and shame people for the color of their skin? Something like that. I don't know. But anyway, trying to find my glasses. Ay. So, okay, so blaming and shaming because of whatever it is. So here, let me read a little bit to you. It says, it's deeply concerning when individuals resort to blaming, shaming, or invalidating others based on their race, ethnicity, accent, political affiliation, or personal experiences. So these actions perpetrate harmful stereotypes, reinforce systemic inequalities, and undermine efforts towards empathy and understanding. So, for example, when someone's trauma or experiences are dismissed or belittled, it's important to recognize the damaging impact of such responses. Like, rather than invalidating or blaming individuals for their experiences, it's crucial to foster empathy, support, and validation. Listening with compassion, acknowledging the validity of someone's experiences, and offering support or resources can contribute to creating a more inclusive and supportive environment. And that makes me smile a little bit, because I can hear the voices saying, that ain't my problem. Like, why would I have to show them empathy? Why should I have to listen to them? Whether it's in a whatever kind of setting, a medical setting where, you call them complainers coming in. I hear you. So I hear you. Ain't my problem. So anyway, addressing these issues require ongoing education, awareness, and commitment to challenging biased attitudes and behaviors. By promoting empathy, understanding, and respect for diverse experiences, we can work towards building a more inclusive and equitable society for all. So when I say I hear you, and I truly understand, those positions that say that ain't my problem, that's a they problem. But when you're in the position and you raise your right hand to take care of people, you step out to help others, and you participate in society where everybody is different, but you're fucking laughing at people because of this color of their fucking skin, because of the way they goddamn talk. If they talk with an accent, if they talk ghetto like I do sometimes, if they walk a certain way that doesn't walk like you, if they act a certain way that doesn't approve of your way they should be acting, then we blame and we shame them, because whether, and I'm a big one on personalities, right? So whether we have that personality of the life of the party, we have to keep people laughing, and by the expense of somebody else's body type, by the expense of somebody else's color of their skin, or the color of their hair, or the chinkiness of their eyes, or the accent that they have from another country in America. I mean, okay, I get it. I understand that's you, that's your personality. But I'm learning a little bit deeper and I want to share, is that I thought it was only about personality instead of being inside of a box of race, political party, what side of the tracks you're on, what type of money do you have, middle class, poor class, high class, whatever. So I thought that it was only personality, whether you have that quick, fast, and in a hurry personality, that meticulous numbers type personality where you're slower at making decisions and rational, have to think about before you jump into something, or you have that fast-paced personality where just get it done quick, fast, and in a hurry, where you excel in emergency room type situations, or you're just a loyal type person, really true to who you are around, or you have that personality of you're going to find every single error about a person that you target. You're going to be the life of the party, which is accepted and loved by many, but then you take that and use that as some people with how they are, use that as a mechanism to, if you have this, depends on what's your inner intent. and use it against others to make yourself look better. So I'm learning that besides personalities, and it goes deeper, with learning about Carl Jung and all these personalities, they go deeper, right? And so learning that behaviors is laced per se with the personalities. Behaviors of, and I keep going back to the good, the bad, the ugly, the evil, the wicked, murderous mindsets, right? Behaviors, whether they're the good, the bad, the ugly, or mentally challenged, where you can't get out of and break free from some of the things that are in the brain that you cannot control. I don't know how to explain that. All right, let me try to go a little bit deeper as I read this article and just try to gain some, perspective about it, how I look at it, and it may give you another way to come up with some perspectives or solutions. This is only for people that are interested, right? Not to be trying to convince nobody or change nobody's mind of the way they are. This is just, I'm just throwing out there what I'm learning about, and I share as I learn. And today it is blame and shame. And so here are some examples of real life responses to trauma, and some ways to respond according to what I'm reading. So in real life, individuals who have experienced trauma may encounter various responses from others that fail to acknowledge the gravity of their experiences. So here are some common examples of such responses and ways to effectively respond. So the first one would be minimization. Minimizing responses diminish the severity of the trauma experienced by the individual. For example, if someone shares their experience of childhood abuse, a minimizing response could be, well, at least you're strong now because of it. This response overlooks the pain and suffering of the individual endured, right? The next one, continuing on with this effective response to minimization in such situation is crucial to assertively communicate the impact of the trauma on your well-being. You can respond by saying, well, while I appreciate your perspective, it's important for me to process the pain I went through without downplaying its effects. So sometime, like, who's gonna go through that whole paragraph I just read to somebody after they told somebody their something personal about themselves that deal with trauma, right? Ain't nobody gonna take the time out. They're just gonna, act like it didn't bother them, act like the response they got didn't bother them, and walk off. And they're gonna hold a lot in their heart, and they're gonna shut down, and they're not gonna speak, and they're gonna become silent sometimes. And then, later on we wonder, why are they on drugs? Why is there a mental health issue? Why are people homeless? Why, right? Or we say, fuck them. Like, it ain't my goddamn problem, right? So, sometimes, we open up and find and say things to quote unquote the wrong person. This is why they always say, get professional help, see a psychiatrist or a mental health provider, which is very hard because, number one, of money. Number two, there's some horrible ones out there. Just because they have psychiatrists or, mental health behind their name and they're practicing in that role does not mean you do not have a psychiatrist that go home and beat their spouse. You do not have a psychiatrist that go home and participate in pedophile activity. You do not have a psychiatrist that have severe mental health issues, just like everybody else, right? So it's just like in society with normal human beings, we have the good, the bad, the ugly, the evil, the wicked, and the murderous mindsets. You know what I'm saying? So it don't matter your status or what you have behind your name. You fall into that, or how much money you got, how little money you got. You fall into that same category. You either good, you bad, you're ugly. So finding a therapist can be very hard, but it is highly recommended so that you can talk if you do not have a support group of individuals or family members that you can talk to. So the next one here would be is classified under blaming or shaming. Some responses shift the blame onto the individual who experienced trauma, implying that they could have avoided it if that or are somehow responsible for what happened. Like, if a survivor of sexual assault is told, you shouldn't have been in that situation, it places unwarranted guilt on the survivor. Like, why the hell did you walk out there with those clothes on? Of course you're gonna get raped. Or why did you leave your child with this person, and you know whether it's a female child or a male child, it don't matter it being the opposite sex, because same sex is raping and taking advantage of small children also. But you blame the parent for leaving them with that adult, right? I'm not gonna go into that because I'm not qualified or know much about it to go into that, but that is one of the examples. So an effective, they say, response to blaming or shaming would be it is essential to set boundaries and educate others on the complexities of trauma. Respond by stating, it's not helpful to blame me for what happened. What I need right now is support and understanding. Again, with that one, yeah, somebody might say a statement like that. And I would say, if you have to tell someone this, whether it's your spouse or someone you love dearly, to, I just need support from you. I don't need you to blame me for what happened. You could be a child telling that to your parent, like, please listen to me. Okay, fine. Or a spouse saying it to your spouse. Please don't blame me. Please listen to me. But when you get in those positions where you are realizing you're trying to get somebody to listen to you, and you have to ask them, please don't blame me for what happened. What I need right now is support and understanding. It's time to start thinking about, if you want to think about boundaries and getting away from that person or finding someone else to share your trauma and things of that nature with. The next one is dismissiveness. Dismissive responses invalidate the feelings and experience of trauma survivors. So comments like, just move on already, or it's in the past, why dwell on it, disregard the long-lasting impact of trauma on an individual's mental health. So the individual never gets to talk about it with people that they've been close to forever. And they hold it in and hold it in and hold it in. And that's where that rumination thing come about. And, they always have headaches or I don't know. They just can't, holding that in for so long, and you don't have nobody to talk to telling you to just shut up and move on and stop dwelling on it and just forget it. Again, that is not good. And you don't think just because whoever you're telling that to, they tell you to move on, that you should, or don't think that you're dwelling on it for no reason you still can find other ways to get it out of you by finding somebody that will listen to you with empathy and and care about you as a person. It says an effective response to dismissiveness would be when faced with dismissive remarks. It's important to advocate for your emotional needs. You can respond by saying, I understand you may not fully grasp how this trauma affects me, but your support in acknowledging my feelings would mean a lot. I don't know. I think I'm too mean to be saying something like that to somebody, or my personality does not fit that paragraph. But I do find it alarming when, you try to, you drop your guard and you say something to somebody and get those dismissive remarks. It's hurtful. And you're definitely going to get it with people that have not been through the same things that you have not walked the same path you have, or those that hold different statuses to a high degree, where they feel as though you should not be talking about a preacher or a priest. You should not be talking about military people. You should not be talking about police. You should not be talking about chaplains. You should not be talking about doctors. People that hold a high degree in society, in taking care of people. They feel as though these are not normal people with normal, situations and traumas that everyone else go through. So you are attacking the whole police force. You are attacking the whole political arena. You are attacking the whole religious groups. You are attacking the whole military, the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Coast Guard, the whole goddamn thing. If you talk about and have experienced anything, any type of trauma with one individual that has participated as a doctor, as a military personnel, as a police or whatever, like, you're the one that's going to get it if you open your mouth and try to talk about, something that has happened to you with one of these type of individuals of high status. So let's see. So if somebody don't understand you point blank, don't be upset that you shared your information with somebody that don't get it. Don't shut yourself off and say never again, because there are people out there for you that will understand you and listen to you. So no need to keep harboring that inside of your soul. And there are ways to do it, healthy ways to do it for yourself as well. So ways to continue ignoring people and healing yourself is establish boundaries. Setting clear boundaries with individuals who invalidate or minimize your trauma is crucial for your healing process. Continue assertively about what responses are not acceptable to you. Again, seek support. Surround yourself with a supportive network of friends, family, or mental health professionals who understand the complexities of trauma and can provide validation and empathy. Self-care practices. Engage in self-care activities that promote healing and well-being, such as mindfulness, meditation, journaling, exercise, or creative outlets. So by recognizing and validating responses to trauma and learning effective ways to respond while prioritizing self-care and healing, individuals can navigate their journey towards recovery and resilience and empowerment. So if you want to read a little bit about it and gather, and if you're interested in this type of stuff and you want to gather additional information for your mind and to train your brain of how you deal with yourself and how you deal with other people. Some sources used in answering this question is by the APA, American Psychology Association, which provides insights into trauma responses and effective coping strategies for survivors. Another one would be the NIMH, National Institute of Mental Health, which offers evidence-based information on trauma-related disorders and treatments. Not just somebody walking around and saying quotes and misinterpreting diagnoses and misinterpreting behaviors of people because they don't understand, or it makes them feel horrible because they have not been through anything, of the sort. And so it's their job to make that person feel bad and alone about what they have gone through. Another one would be the Mayo Clinic's resources on mental health and trauma, help in understanding the impact of trauma experiences on an individual's well-being. So this is just information. Like I said, I was curious. I hear certain comments, I read certain things, and it just made me want to dig a little bit deeper into this and, wonder why I get uncomfortable and upset when people blame and shame people for certain things of, how they are. And that's it. Peace.